At this point, you should know how to put on the datums on each view, and then put your general notes in your tolerance block, and the flag note for which datums are the most important ones. Go ahead and try it before I do this, and then you can verify you did it correctly or make fixes accordingly. So pause the video and try it. I'll continue on now. In case you weren't able to get the datums, step number 1 is to make sure that the front view is the active view. So I find the easiest thing to do is to go into the View tab and turn on the display frame to make sure that I'm working on the correct view. So I click on this one here twice, and it's the front view there. This box right here is for the top view. This is the isometric view. If you look at the specification tree, it highlights the one I'm double clicking on. So we're on the right view, and then this one again is the front view. This view is known as the primary view. It has most of the dimensions. It was the view needed to create the top view and the right view. So this would be the view I established my datum A and B. Datum A is usually the horizontal line and then a vertical line. Look for the tab called Annotation and Datum Feature. Since it's going to know A, B, and C, starting with A, I'm going to do my A datum first. I'll select on this, select the bottom line for datum A, and move this out. Again, it's going to give you the option to change it. It has a green check by the cursor, so anywhere you click, it will accept that datum A. I'll click off the datum A just to highlight it. Make sure it goes past your dimensions. Next thing we're going to do is establish datum B. I repeat the same process. I select this line here. That is the datum B. Now I see people put it in there, but it's very hard to read. You could put it down here. Technically that would be okay, but I would probably put my datum up here, making sure to go past the dimensions. Click a position. It is datum B, so just click anywhere to accept the datum B. Those dimensions are critical. It tells the shop where to dimension from. We're going to leave it like that, but in another class I'm going to show you a different way to set the datums off the center here, because really I'm dimensioning off datum B from here, and datum A is actually this line right here. Alright, so when you go and take the next class, I'll go in more depth on that, but it doesn't have to be these center lines. It oftentimes is the edges of the part, so we'll leave it for this instance. In the end, the part should come out the same. Alright, let's go ahead and establish the necessary datum here. Before I establish that datum feature, we want to make sure that the red box is around this on the right view. I double click it. The right view is active, so I know I'm working on that. I'll use the datum feature. This front face is datum C. I would drag it up off the part and click a position. And then there's a green check, and I want approximately this length and this length to be somewhat close to being the same. And then if I look at this, this is the bottom. This line also is the bottom. This is the front face. According to chapter 5, third degree projection, this front face here, when I flip it 90 degrees, the front face would land here. This would be the back of the part. The back of the part on this is behind there. I can't see it, but up here, this is the front surface, and then this is the back of the part. We're looking at a top view. Flip that 90 degrees. This is the front face and the back view. So we're going to establish datum A over here. I'll just drag that out here, click a position, and I'm going to type in the letter A as capital letters. Alright, and then the datum up here, we want to make sure we're in this view. This is datum B. If I continue a straight line up here, it lines up with that edge right here. That is datum B. I'll click over here, and again, I'll type in the letter B and hit enter and click off of it. This one I'll leave right on the part. You can leave it on the part if you want, but if I put the C on the part, I don't like it to be where there's hidden lines or axes or any of that. It's kind of hard to see. I think it's just a lot easier to see right here. Alright, one last datum feature. That would be the bottom line on this, which would represent datum C. I'll just go ahead and leave that right there. And I'll type the letter C, hit enter, and there's your datum C. Okay, now I had you label all the datums on all the views because I want to make sure you understand where the datums are on this part. Now we have to identify the datums I really shouldn't have on here, but you're doing it just to demonstrate that you have knowledge of where the datums are for each view. So what we're going to do here is go into text, and I'm already in this view, so I'll just go ahead and click here and type in 100 and say OK. And now what I want to do is go to the properties, and I'm looking for text, and I want to turn on a frame. The current frame is set to none. We're going to use the right flag note because I want to point at the datum. Hit apply, select OK, and then move this kind of just over here so that the arrow is pointing at that datum C is going to be the unnecessary datum. And I'm going to click on this and copy it. Click over here and paste, text. Click here. I'm going to go to text and click here. I meant to paste that. I forgot to copy that though. So let me cancel that. I'm going to double click this and copy. Cancel. Or I could have just as easily probably typed in the 100. Click over here for the text. Type in 100. Select OK. Right click on it and go to properties. We're looking for a frame under the text feature. It's defaults to none. We're going to set this back for this one to be a right flag note. Apply that. Select OK. I'll just move this up here so the arrow's pointing to the B. Okay. If you're having troubles, it's jumping too much, use your shift button so it won't jump to the grid. It'll just let you move it around to wherever you want. Okay. Alright, something else I forgot to mention. I have 1, 2, 3 axes. Unfortunately, what this thing does is it shows the axes here for this right there. So I gotta click on this and delete it. Click on this one and delete it. Again, it's trying to show the axis for this and this and this and this. So there's 4 of them I gotta delete. So this one here, I'm gonna delete. This one over here, I'm gonna delete. You see I only have the 3 axes for the 3 holes now. These are hidden lines representing the edge of the holes, and this is a dot dash center line to represent the axis for the center of the hole. I have to duplicate that over here. This axis is for the hole. This axis is for the fillet. I gotta delete that. And this axis is right here. It happens to line up with that one, so it is what it is on that. You have this hidden line for the top of this, and then this one here is this hidden line here. If I were to just go to sketch and go to line, You can kind of see if I use my shift button and just kind of click over here, that lines up with that axis. And when I create a line, holding the shift button down, I'll just do this one right here. Click here. That's the top of that one. Okay. And then this hidden line will be the bottom of this edge. Alright. So those two are unnecessary. I have no dimensions on them. That's one of the indicators, because the whole idea is that we're going to put datums on the views where I've got to dimension from. I got datum C here, and there is a dimension 1 inch going from here, so that makes this an important datum to represent. But this datum A, I have A here and A here. This is the A I don't need. I first must go into that view and then go into the annotation tab and go to text. Click over here and type in 100. Right click and go to properties. We want to add that flag note that points to it. Select OK. And move this over here so it's pointing at the A. Alright, that's how that should look. That concludes adding the datums to the views. Add the tolerance block and the general notes. I'll demo it in the next video in case you still need help.